So, welcome along to my second Zoom session for helping you along with your dogs at this current time when we can't attend any lessons. So thank you for coming along. Oh, I need to remember to keep adding in people. They're all going to come along. I should have set it up so they come in automatically, but hey ho, that's just settings for you. If you have any questions, again, please put that in the chat and I'll be more than happy to help you. So what I wanted to cover today, those of you that didn't catch my session the other day, there may be some terminology or something you don't quite understand. If that's the case, by all means ask, but I may not go into it in depth because you can rewatch the other video I did the other day when it comes to some of the things I might say. So I'll certainly recap it, but I won't necessarily go into a lot of information because that's in the other session that you might not have attended the other day. So today I thought that we'd go over reflex to name, settle and sit. So some basic things, but they're actually really, really valuable things because generally if you work on these three behaviours, there's not a lot that you can't fix with these three behaviours to a certain extent. These are some of what I call my core behaviours. So what we tend to do, well, I'm going to start with reflex to name. So have you all, those of you that have got puppies and treats, are you ready? Thumbs up if you're ready. Oh, we're running off. Yeah. Treats and puppies, everybody run. Okay, so reflex to name, it's relatively, this is probably what you would have done when you first brought your puppy home, but it's teaching them that their name is their name, but that their name is really valuable. Because as and when in those days when we all used to go to the supermarket together and you'd have those days where you just run into everybody and you just stop and chat for ages. Reflex to name is, say for instance, if we're in the supermarket and we hear our name and I hear Joe, and I'm going to go turn around and I'm going to look for whoever said my name. But it turns out it was somebody calling another Joe. That is what we kind of want with your puppy. We want them, as soon as they hear their name, they go, oh, that's me. So you've got a reflex to name, and we want our puppies to, and our dogs, it doesn't matter how old your dog is, you can always build up their value in their reflex to name. And what we don't tend to realise is throughout the day, we actually say our dogs' names a lot. And if I was to ask you to tally this down through the day, you'd find that, hang on, I'm saying this name a lot, but is it always for the good? Is it when they've maybe made a mess? Is it anything like that? We want to ensure that their name's always got value, but also remembering that old phrase, don't use my name too much, you're going to wear it out. Because if you are constantly going, puppy, you're going to get to a certain point where puppies, they're just like, oh, it's just her yapping on again. I'm not listening to that. I've got something better to do. So building on your reflex to name is really, really simple. You're going to start with a couple of treats, and you've just got your dog in front of you, and you're going to give your dog their name. You're just going to wait for a second and then give them a treat. So say their name and then give them a treat. So what I will do is, who's got a puppet? Who's working their dogs? Because then I'll just work around each of you. So Amelia, I'll start as I can see around. Amelia, you've got a puppy there, haven't you? So I'm just going to unmute you, Amelia, to see what you're getting up to. Let's
unmute, is that right?
There we go. Yeah, there we go. So let's have a quick look at what you're doing for me, Amelia. So you're going to say your pup's name, wait a minute, and then give them a treat.
Yeah, but you don't know whether you can see that, sorry.
Yeah, no, what's your pup's name?
Taffy.
Taffy, that's it. Let's do that one again for me, Amelia. Taffy. Good, beautiful. Right, I'm going to mute you now. And let's go on to Keith. You got a dog there? Yeah, lovely. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself and let's give you a go. In the meantime, you can all carry on practicing.
She is shattered.
She'd had a long woodland walk.
Oh, bless.
She's
That's all right. She doesn't.
Tired.
What's her name?
Minnie.
Minnie. So you could just go Minnie and give her a cookie.
Minnie. She's good. She's very
good.
responsive to her name.
Oh, that's good. That is
awake.
lovely.
Yeah.
Well, let her have a little break. I'll mute you back up, and then I'm going to head across to, is it Rebecca? Just going to ask you to unmute there, Rebecca. Oh, lovely. And what's your pup's name?
Ace.
Ace.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see.
Okay, so we're going to say Ace and then give him a
Ace.
cookie. Good. And again.
Ace.
Good. Lovely. Super. I'm going to mute you again. Liz, is Hera still outside? Is she back? Is she back?
Yep, she's back.
She's back. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Would you like to have a go?
Hera, come here. I don't know if you can see it.
That's okay.
Joy of using a laptop. Hera.
Somewhere around.
Right, the one day she's non-responsive. Hera, don't look at me like that. Yes, good girl.
Oh, there she is. So I'm going to climb all over you, Mum, but that's all right. That's a training fit for another day.
I've had the mop out, so yeah, she's dubious now.
No worries. Right. Let's head along to Charlotte and Reggie.
Reggie? Good boy. Reggie? Good boy.
Lovely. Look at that little attentive little man there. Very well done. Okie dokie. So let's finally move on to Rachel. Now I'm just going to ask you to unmute. There we go. Fabulous. Hello, Rachel. So who have you got there?
Blue.
Blue. And let's hear you do your little reflex to name practice.
Blue.
Lovely. And again.
Blue.
Good. Super. Well done. I'm just going to mute you back. So, although this seems really kind of obvious, and it's like, well, Joe, why are you getting me to do this? If we're overusing that name through the day, it's going to lose value, especially if we don't always follow it up with a reward. Now, just to recap some of the things that I said in the first session I did, a reward can be anything your dog wants. If your dog wants it, it's a reward. So that can be food, toys, love, hugs, a smile, eye contact, a wave, anything. If your dog wants it, it's a reward. So it's really, really useful to have a think about what your dog wants. If you know what your dog wants, from everything from cheese to chicken to squeaky balls, or even a scratch on the bum, if you know everything that your dog likes, you're well on your way to being able to work with any sort of training issue you may come across. Okay, so it doesn't always have to be about treats. It can be about scratch on the bum or anything like that. So if you are using their name throughout the day, just make sure it goes rewarded. And what I like to do with my puppies when they're nice and new is when I've got their breakfast, I'll have their licky mat or however it is I'm going to feed them. And one of the best things that you can do, especially if you're locked down at the moment on furlough, etc., you're at home a bit more, utilize your puppy's food. So if you're feeding your puppy 3 or 4 times a day, you've got 3 or 4 little training sessions that you could do. Rather than putting lots of treats in them, you can use their meals as a training opportunity. So what you can do is use that food, and you've got their food out, and you could just say, do 5 repetitions of your reflex to name. And then you could do some sits and downs, etc., etc. Okay, but always keep building on that reflex to name, because we want them that as soon as they hear that name, we've got them. And gradually we'll add in more and more distractions. So it's really going to help with your recall. Okay, so as well as practicing it in your living rooms like you've got today, practice it in the garden. So when you're outside with them, do a few repetitions of their name and reward. And again, the reward can be anything your dog wants. Does that make sense for the reflex to name for everybody? Give me a thumbs up. Fabulous. Does anybody have any questions? If you do, pop it in the chat box. If any of that doesn't make sense. I'm just going to, now we're a little way in, I'm just going to close the door and lock the meeting so that nobody else can come in now. So that's it. Fabulous. Otherwise we'll get all interrupted with somebody else coming in, and that's not fair. Right, so that's your reflex to name. Really, really simple, really, really easy. So how many of you have, I'm sure you probably have started to teach a sit? Give me a hands up if you started to teach a sit. Lovely, look at that. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask everybody to show me your sits. If you've got a puppy there, if you've not got your puppy there, then Keith, you sit there. Well done. Good. Very good boy, Keith. Very good. So those of you that have got, who's got a, raise your hands if you've got a puppy for me at the moment. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. So it's Keith. You've lucked out here, boy. You've lucked out here, boy. That's all right. You can sit and enjoy it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix things up. I'm not always going to start with Amelia. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right in the middle. Liz, let's start with you. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Hopefully. There you are. Right. Okay, let's see if we can see here a sit.
So she's bound to do exactly the opposite of whatever I tell her now. Normally she's really good at this, but she's got a toy. So yeah.
That's all right. So if she wants the toy, would she sit for her toy?
She's laid on it. She's laid on her favourite. Right?
Never work with children and animals. Oh, lovely. What a clever puppy.
Not bad for 10 weeks.
No, that's very good. Very good. And that's it. She can have her toy. Fabulous. Good girly. Right. Let's head on to Reggie. Let's head on to Reggie.
Reggie, quick. He wants to get the treats. We've lost him. Oh, we've lost him. We're back.
That's it. So let's see Reggie's little sit.
Good boy. Sit. Sit down. Good boy.
So what I'll get you to do, if you throw a little cookie just across the floor to your daughter's feet so that Reggie gets up. That's it. So get a cookie and just throw it towards your daughter's feet so Reggie follows the cookie.
Treat. Yeah.
That's it. Good. Now ask Reggie for a sit when he comes back to you.
Reggie, sit.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
well done. Clever little puppy. He's like, yeah, I'm a genius. Right, let's move on to Rachel and Blue. I've just asked you to unmute. Yeah, lovely.
And then Blue, sit. Good boy.
Lovely. Let me just see that one again, Rachel.
Edge of the table is in the way.
That's it. So what you can do is roll a little cookie. That's it. Very nice.
Sit.
Beautiful. Clever little Blue. Fantastic. Right, let me head across to Rebecca. And I've forgotten your puppy's name already, Rebecca.
It's Ace.
Ace.
Get up. Ace, get up. Come on in. He's like, I'm just going to lay down. Come on in.
You can always roll a cookie towards that toy box there. See if Ace will get up and.
Come on in.
What's that?
He's like, I don't even want to get up. He's just like, no.
Been a long day, I know, Ace. Yeah. We're going one ahead. Ace is like, nah.
He is. He's just like, no.
Oh, we've got some tired puppies. I need to do this first thing in the morning, don't I?
I think it's more stubborn.
So now this is a good point. So actually, dogs aren't stubborn. Dogs, they don't have that kind of capability, bless them. They just have kind of a lack of understanding and a lack of motivation. So if you've got something in his toy box that maybe squeaks or is a little bit more exciting, or you can do some clapping, anything like that, it's just more of a case of, well, it's okay, but maybe it's not worth me getting up. So can we throw that toy across the living room, maybe say, woohoo, what have we got? And we can follow that toy. That's it. Why don't you all get up and follow that toy? Don't worry about your camera. That's it. He says, no, I'm not getting up. Okie dokie. Go to the other side of your living room for me and take your toys and see if he'll recall to you. That's it. See if he'll come. Take your toys with you. That's it. There we go. Right. Now come back into shot and let's see if we can get a sit.
Right. Sit.
Beautiful. Now give him that lovely ball. That's what he wanted.
There you
Good
go. I love
puppy.
that. That's the newest toy. He gets bored so quick.
Yeah, that's it. That's just like me. That's just like me. I'm the same. Really well done. So if you are struggling with a little bit, I'm just going to mute you now, Rebecca. If you are struggling with a little bit of motivation and your dog's saying, oh, I don't know, maybe not. Dogs aren't actually stubborn. It's either just a lack of motivation or a lack of understanding. So if you think, right, okay, then if it was me and I was just at that stage, well, shall I get off the sofa? No, I don't want to. But if I waved a £50 note at you, would you get off the sofa? Maybe. So it's just working around their understanding and the motivation. So if they're not doing something, do they understand what it is we're asking? Or do we not have something that's enough worthwhile for them? Are they enjoying doing whatever it is they're doing at that moment rather than going off to do whatever it is we're asking them to do? Does that make sense? Hopefully, yeah. So Amelia, let's see your little sit with Taffy.
Yeah, I'm on the phone, so it's gonna be a bit awkward. I'm gonna have to change it around. I think I'll change the camera around.
No worries.
Let's see that. If that okay, Taffy, go. Go there. Good girl. Taffy, sit. Taffy, sit. Oh, we've got to lie down.
Bless her.
She's really tired. Bless her.
I know. I'm gonna have to. I'll do the next one in the morning. I think it'll be midweek, won't it? By the time I do another one, so most people might be at work. So I have to try and remember the weekend ones. I'll do early for you.
Good girl.
Lovely. That's better, Taffy. Well done. Super. Right. Okie dokie. So what I want you to think about when it comes to, they've all got lovely little sits. So that's brilliant. So of course, what you can start to think about when it comes to your sits is how you can make them a little bit more reliable and also more valuable. So what's really, really useful is if you happen to see just randomly while you're maybe sitting watching the TV, or you're not actually engaged with your puppy, but you see them do a sit, you just happen to see them do a sit, why not say to them, good pup, very well done. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, quick, I've got to throw a cookie across the floor. Just telling them that they're a good puppy is all that they may need, because the more times we can reward and build value in that sit, then again, when it comes to issues such as pulling on the lead, waiting for them to sit and cross the road or anything like that, it's teaching what's called an automatic sit. So for instance, you might be walking along to the shops or anything like that, and you spot a friend when we're allowed to talk to people again, and you might stop to talk to them. And what's really nice is, rather than having your puppy jumping up, if they've got more value in a sit, they're going to think, hang on, no, this is just, mum stopped, I've got more value in a sit, I'm going to sit. So working on a sit can actually, again, really alleviate a lot of problems, such as jumping up, climbing on your head, anything like that. So it's a really, really good one to practice. But remember, again, those that haven't seen the first video or listen to the podcast of it, go and check out what I mean about the 3 Ds. Okay, so if you've not heard about the 3 Ds before, that's distance, distraction, and duration. So the basics are that no matter how good you think your sit or any behavior is, you can always make it better by increasing AD. So if you get a lovely sit in your living rooms and indoors like you have today, can you get such a good sit when you're in the garden? Can you get such a good sit when you are at the side of the road or in the woods? So that's increasing the distraction. And then you can build up the duration of the sit, so how long they're sitting still, and the distraction, we've done the distraction, the distance. So can they sit when you say so when you're 2 meters away from them, or do they still need to come right up to you and sit right in front of you? Because sometimes you might want them to sit when they're a couple of meters away, so you can pick up some broken glass or something like that. Okay, so go and check out that other video as well, so that you just to build up on these 3 Ds: distance, distraction, and duration. Make sense? Give us a thumbs up. Yeah, fabulous. So any questions so far on sit and increasing the difficulties of your sits to make them foolproof ultimately. Does that all make sense? Yeah, good. Right, so what I'm going to show you now is I've got a little video just to mix it up a little bit so you don't have to keep seeing me without a dog. I've got a video, it is about 5 minutes long, but it's teaching settle, and in this video I'm showing you the basics with my puppy Alan. And what I'd like to do is I'd like you to watch that video, and then I'm going to come back to you and give you a chance to go and find a little blanket or something like that that you'll see in the video, so that we can have a practice with our dogs or your dogs. Does that make sense? So we'll watch this video and then we'll give it a go. Yeah, brilliant. I will just come and set it up. That's it. Right. Right, hopefully you can all see that now. If you can, yeah, hopefully you can all see that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click play on this one now. I'm hoping you can all hear that. Okay, thanks Liz.
With the food lure.
Can you hear that
They
now?
touch the mat, you can feed. Good
Brilliant.
boy, very nice. He's actually doing pretty well because I can hear a dog barking in another garden. This is why, when you can...
Oh, my bad, sorry.
So, how do you go about starting this? First of all, if your dog's not too keen on touching the mat, you can lure them onto the mat. So if you're not familiar with the term luring, that's when you have a piece of food in your hand and you can guide your dog in the direction you want them to go with the food lure. As they touch the mat, you can feed. Good boy, very nice. He's actually doing pretty well because I can hear a dog barking in another garden. This is why, when you can, take advantage of doing training in different places. Good boy, very nice. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to throw a treat just out on the grass, and as Alan comes back onto the mat, I'm going to mark him. So that may be with a clicker, if you use a clicker. It could be with a verbal marker. Myself, I like to go and click my tongue. That's what I tend to do as a marker, although I do use a clicker. Let's try this. Out you guys. And then, you ready? His feet touch the mat. And mark and reward. Good boy. Throw another piece out. Just not too far, especially on the grass. You don't want them to spend too long looking for that. As they come back, I'm going to mark. Very nice. That's super. Well done. You're such a clever puppy. You're such a... Pull that out. I know, there's a noisy little puppy across the road, isn't there? Very good. Not quite on the mat, but I still want him to know that that's good enough at the moment for such a little baby. That's got a paw on. Good boy. I'm just going to make a huge deal out of it. Good. There we go. Throw a cookie out. Much better. That's what we want to see. It could very well be that on that last repetition he was a bit distracted by that dog barking, but that's okay. real life has distractions. If you don't train in non-sterile environments, you're not going to have a dog that can do behaviours in the real world. And that's what I'm about, some real world training. One more time. Out we go. He says, no, I'm staying over this side. This is where I like to be. I'm just going to wait him out. I'm going to see what happens, whether he can figure out that actually the value's almost not bad. I'm going to hold out a tiny little bit longer for him. I just want to see if he can figure it out. Just 5 or 10 seconds. I just want to see if he can readjust onto that mat. No, he's going to go further away. He's getting a little bit frustrated. Ah, we're done. Good boy. Nice. Clever puppy. Are you? Are you? Are you clever puppy? I'm just going to chat to him. Nice. Good boy. Good boy. Very nice. Clever puppy. I'm going to go nuts. Boy, well done. That's what you want to do. Yes, clever puppy. Sometimes it's just a waiting game. Okay, now if at the beginning of your training you get something like that, I would really help them. Go back to maybe the food lure, maybe make the mat a little bit bigger. I know that Alan can do this, so I just wanted to wait it out a little bit. We've not tried this outdoors before, so I have got some more distractions in place, and I'm really, really pleased with how he's done with that today. As you want to progress this behaviour, you can start moving the mat further away from you. That's how you start to progress it, so that the mat is not right in front of you. It's just a little bit further away from you, to the side. That's what you want to be looking for to increase the 3Ds when it comes to any behaviour. So that's your duration, so the amount of time that they can settle there. The distance, so how far away from you can they do that. And the distraction. We've got a fair few distractions out here today, which is why I'm not asking him for any length of duration or distance away from me. I don't like to do too much at once. It wouldn't be fair on my dog if I increased all of the 3Ds at once, incrementally and in little stages. He's already tired, bless him. So I think that's the end of today's little video. I'm going to go and take him in for a nap. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, do let me know, and we'll see you later.
Okay, so how did that make sense for you? Can you hear it okay? I know there was a bit crickly crackly on my microphone, I think getting caught in my hair, but did that make sense for you? Yeah, fabulous. So what we want to have a look at, no, you don't have to be on the ground, Liz. No, not at all. You can be sitting down on a chair, anything like that. I tend to do things sitting down because then when I'm videoing, because then I've got me and the dog and everything in the shot, so it makes it easier for you to see what I'm doing. But no, you don't have to be sitting on the ground. You can be sitting on a chair, you can be standing up, so long as when you start off you've got that mat directly in front of you, so that your puppy's ultimately going to walk up to you because they're going to see that you've got something that they want, and they can't really miss stepping on the mat. So whether ideally start with a really big blanket, or that's it, like we've got there with Reggie. The bigger the blanket, the more success is likely, because they've got a wider area to step on. And then as they get the idea that, hey, when I step on this blanket, I get a cookie, we can start making that blanket smaller and smaller. So again, that comes into the difficulty side of it, as we're making it smaller and smaller. And then that's when we can take things further away. So yeah, absolutely, you don't have to be on the floor. It's not a problem. You can be sitting up. You just need that blanket in front of you. So who would like to have a go at this on the video? Give me a little wave if you want to do this on the video. Yeah, so we've got Ace, Reggie, yeah. Amelia, does Taffy want to have a go? Yeah, fabulous. Is Kira's asleep probably, is she? Yeah, okay, we'll leave Kira to have a little time. So let's have a little start with Rebecca and Ace. So I'm just going to ask you to unmute. Let's have a little look what's going on.
I smell the creeps in my other hand.
Right, so you need to actually watch it.
Yeah, he's on it now. We need him off it. Go on then.
That's it. Well done. That's it. Throw that cookie across the floor. That's it. Nice. And then as he comes back,
Just call him once or
no, just wait. Just sit and wait. Yeah. And say, good. Give him the cookie.
boy.
Yeah.
Boy.
Super. And then throw the cookie back across the floor. And don't worry that whether your dog's in a sit or down or anything like that, at the moment, we want to reward for any interaction on that mat or that blanket. Any interaction, even if they're looking at it. So like Taffy was just having a little look at it. Even the reward, that's it. Very good. And what will happen is they will naturally start to come back and just offer a little bit more on that blanket as we delay the reward a little bit. So if you has Ace just gone off to get another cookie?
Yeah. Now he's coming back.
Okay, so as he comes back, good. Clever puppy, and we've gone into a sit already. Super. Clever puppy. And of course, so we've not even had to ask for a sit. You don't need to ask for a sit or anything. It's just about building value in being on this blanket. Okay, let's try one more time with Ace. Let's send him away.
Ace. No.
That's it. And then just sit and wait. Might be a little bit small for Ace to get his bum on there. We want to try and get all 4 paws on there, but that's all right. Give him a little cookie for that. Good. Work with a blanket the size of your puppy. So ideally we want all their 4 feet on so that when it comes to it, we can use this settle. So that if anybody has a when, we're allowed to go back to pubs and cafes or anything like that, we can take our blanket with us. And our dogs think, hang on a minute, I know this game, and we can start playing it in a cafe or a pub. So we know our dogs, they're quite happy to sit down. Whee, off he goes. Quite happy to sit down next to us while we're enjoying a meal or a drink, anything like that. So I'm going to mute you now. Let's go on to Taffy. Taffy says, is that my name? So
sorry, I'm doing it because she's just so busy. I have to keep, I'm just been practicing to try and keep her occupied.
No, that's okay, that's fine. Yeah, so that's it. Throw that cookie across the landing. That's it. And as she comes back, you can say good, or you can just drop a treat on that mat. Yeah, good. Lovely. And then throw a cookie across the landing again. That's it. Oh, yeah, she's like, oh, yeah, I like that. I like this game. This is easy.
Good.
Yay, clever girly. She's in a nice little sit there. Throw that cookie across the landing. And this is what I like to call my little reset button. So we can get more repetitions out of our puppies. We can just send them away, say, oh, just go away, think about what you've done, get a cookie for it. And it gives them more opportunities to repeat that behaviour again. Good. Good.
Good. You're confused. Sorry, puppy.
That's all right. So what I'd like you to do, throw a cookie across the landing again for me. And this time, I want you to just hold and wait a moment. Let's see if she comes and lies down on that blanket.
I think she might need a wee.
So I heard something there. That's all right. But let's give her a cookie there because that was a big distraction to work through. Good, clever puppy. Well done. Very nice. That's really, really good. So what you can do is you can delay your reward slightly to see if you can get more behaviours and you can start getting that duration as well. Hey, we've got a nice little down. So reward her for that and you can do a reset. I'll let you carry on, keeping little Miss Busybody busy. And we'll head over to Reggie. So, Reggie.
Wonderful. Right, Reggie.
Nice big blanket for little Reggie. That's it. Good. Nice.
Boy.
That's it. Let's fold up that blanket. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, lovely. That's it.
Boy, Reggie, well done.
Good puppy. When you release him again and send him across the carpet again one more time, let's fold that blanket up.
Fold it up again, Reg.
Catch the Reggie, that's it. Look at that. He's like, yeah, I can sit on this. Look at that. What a clever puppy. Well done. So what I'll do, let's see if Reggie could do a down. So I tell you what, Charlotte, let's see. Let's move you up onto your sofa and let's see if Reggie, because that will take you just a little bit further away. Yeah. So do a little reset, throw your cookie across the floor. And let's see if Reggie can go back onto the blanket or whether he'll just come in front of your feet. Just wait 5 seconds or so. If he turns to look at the blanket, drop a cookie on the blanket. Now I'm just going to look at you adoringly, Mum. So what I'll get you to do is throw a cookie across the floor. Let's reset him. And while he's going off to eat that cookie, bring that blanket to your feet. That's it. Good boy. And reward it. Well, when he comes back onto that blanket, drop the cookie on the blanket. Look, we've confused you now, Reggie. That's it. Release him. So I'm going to try and cheat.
Close.
So what I want you to do, I don't know where you're looking at the moment, but look at the ceiling for me. There we go. Nearly. That's it. Just don't give him any eye contact or anything like that. Can he figure it out? Yeah, give him a cookie for that. Well done. That's close enough. You've just got to let them start thinking about things. Oh, no, right, no. So I'm gonna do that loop round again if you want to. So let's mute you, Rebecca and Ace. Do you want to give it another go? There we go, fabulous. Come on. That's it, right, and then he just needs to. You might not because you're standing over there. Good. Good boy, good boy. That's it, so as soon as those feet go on that mat, you can say, good boy. So throw a cookie away again. Good. Good boy. Good, lovely. So let's mix it up a bit. Let's throw the cookie to the side of you. I know your daughter's just sat right where I was going to say throw a cookie. Just that he's going in a different direction. So we're just changing that slightly. So as daft as it may sound, that's actually just making it a little bit more difficult because what Ace has been doing before is just learnt that as a little pattern just to repeat it. Yeah. So let's see if he can figure out just that actually this is where the value is coming back here to the mat. He's just lost the treat under the chair. He's got it, he's got it. Good boy. Good boy. Well done. Now let's see if any more of those paws might come on that mat. Let's sit and wait. So that's it. Hands up. Put your hands. That's it. Good. Oh, well done. Clever puppy. What a genius. So let's throw another cookie away. And this time, as he's coming back, keep your hands to your tummy or your chest and see if he comes and sits on the mat the whole way. So throw a cookie off towards his crate. That's it. Make it a bit different. And hands, that's it. Hands to yourself. Keep your eyes up to the ceiling so that you're not giving him anything. And then hopefully he's going to waddle back onto this mat and just hold for just a few seconds just to see if he will offer you that SIT. Look at that, clever boy. Clever puppy. Well done. That's amazing. Well done. Perfect. Right, let's move back on to Taffy. Right. Taffy, are you still sleepy tired, or would you like to give this another go?
I think she'll give it another go.
Okie dokie then, Taffy. Right, off we go. Let's see what we can get. She says, yeah, I'm off. That's it, and withhold your reward a little bit. See what she does.
Off the mat.
Not quite. No, that's all right. So let's just release her again. Send her across the landing again. That's it. And as she comes back, we want to reward her nice and quickly. So as soon as the paw touches that blanket, I want you to say good and give her the cookie. And you can always drop the cookie on the mat. Always drop the cookie on the mat.
Taffy.
But I'm cute. You should just give it to me anyway without having to do any hard work.
Good.
Yeah, that's it. So what I might get you to do, Amelia, is actually reward her, drop the cookie on her mat. Because I think she's waiting for you to actually take it to her. Say, no, Mum, I'm a princess, you bring it to me. So what you can do is to build more value is actually drop the food on that mat.
Okay.
Good. That's it. Good. Let's send her back off down the landing again. That's it. Well done, Ace. I can see what you're up to. Well done. Keep it up.
Good.
That's it. Lovely. Keep this one up for a few more repetitions for me. Oh, lovely little city bottom.
Good. Good. Where are you, Taff?
Yeah, I was going to say, where's she gone? she's just like left now. I've had enough. That's okay. If your puppies decide that, good. Very nice. Oh, lovely little sit. Now, if you hold another reward, so don't send her across the floor at the moment. Let's see if she just maybe continues to sit or maybe goes into a down. I'll give her another one for that. Yeah, definitely. Oh. Before she gets demanding and all spaniely, say, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. Right, let's head back off to little Reggie. Well done, Amelia and Taffy. Right, okay, so.
Sorry, he's just gone out to go to the toilet.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We can wait for him. We'll wait for him so he can have another
He's normally
go.
super quick, so he won't be long.
No, that's all right. That's all right. As and when he comes along. So just while Reggie's on a pee break, does that make sense so far for everybody, and why this can actually be a really useful thing to train your dogs? Because again, you can use this if you go to visit family and friends, at the cafe, at the pub, anywhere where you might be going with your dog. If you want to concentrate and watch a movie, but you don't want your puppy clambering all over your head, Julie, somewhere in the background there. This is how you can stop this, Julie, is by having value elsewhere. So you don't need to have your puppies clambering all over you on your sofa. I have no problem with dogs being on sofas, beds, etc., etc., etc. If you want your dog to do that in your family, that's fine. That's not a problem at all. If you don't, you don't. It's everybody's personal choice. Does it matter that caught what as a command, Liz? No, not at all. It doesn't matter at all. I do add beds sometimes if I specifically need them to be there. But generally, more often than not, yeah, it's all right. I figured you meant talk. I tend to build value in their settle blankets as such sort of high value that if there's one around, they will generally choose to be on it, unless there's something better to do, i.e. choose something, play with something. But otherwise, if yes, you could leave the settle mat if you're leaving that exactly, Claire, if that's exactly it. You can use it whether you add a word to it or not. So I do sometimes say on your bed, and they do know what that means. because it might be that I want them on their bed for a particular reason, for whatever reason. Sometimes I do. So because they're generally around, fast asleep, I'll just cue it for them if I actually want them on their bed. So it doesn't matter that, you know, you give it a cue light on your bed or anything like that. Right, little Reginald, are we ready? He says, yeah, look, I'm primed, I'm ready. I've eliminated, I've got plenty of room for more treats. Good. So reward him when he comes back and drop that cookie on the mat for me this time, Charlotte. Good, that's it. And again. Eyes up. So just watch. I think what he's doing is he's watching your face as he's coming back and saying, oh, well, I'm here. That's good enough for my mum because she's looking at me and I'm cute.
Okay, so don't look at him then.
Don't look at him. No, don't look at him. Let him figure out how he can get that eye contact from you. Eye contact's a reward for your dog. There we go. Clever puppy. So let's send him out again. And this time, don't look at him or anything like that. Just send out that cookie. Tell him to go and get it. And hands up, eyes up, and just ignore him. That's it. Good. Good puppy. And then drop that cookie on the blanket. Yeah, good. Drop the cookie on the blanket for it. It'll make it a little bit more value. So that's it. The cookie's coming from that blanket for him. Good. Let's do that one more time. Let's send him across the living room. He's like, I'm off. I'm off. I stay on here. I'm on, off, on, off. Good. That's it. So ignore him. Let him think about it. Let those cogs whir. Oh, what a good boy. Clever puppy. Clever, clever puppy. Now let's send him across the floor again this time, Charlotte. And this time I want you to stand up. Let's just change your position just to make it a bit more difficult. Oh, look. See, look, we've changed your position and it's just, nope, lost it. I don't know what to do now. So you can just see that sometimes changing something really, really simple like your body position makes them go, huh? What? So just wait a minute. There we go, clever puppy. And drop that cookie on the mat. Well done. That's why I say it's worth waiting 5 or 10 seconds just for those cogs to whir. And what you might see out the corner of your eyes, you'll see them going, oh, I'll try this because that's what earned me a reward last time. And then that way you just know that they're actually learning for themselves rather than us saying, do this, do this, do this, do this, or don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. It makes it a lot easier for them if we suddenly say, yeah, I'm going to reward you for that. I'm going to show you a few times by luring maybe. But once we've got that, then great, we can do a little bit more. So does that make sense? I'll just mute Reggie now. Does that make sense for the settle? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. And can you understand how valuable that could be? Yeah. So what I will do is we've been through your reflex to name, your sit and your settle. So what I tend to do is I like to do things in threes generally. So you'll get used to me. So you've got your 3Ds. And the more you train with me, the more you'll hear me go on about 3 things. So that's all I'll do for you tonight, because that's more than enough for you to go and play with. But remember, if you want to do some training, little and often, no more than 3 minutes maximum. So if you think you want to do some training, just go and, if you're boiling the kettle, go and do some training. And then by the time the kettle's boiled, you would have finished your training. If the TV adverts come on, don't check your email or Facebook. Go and do a bit of training with your puppy, because all those little tiny increments build up to a much bigger picture. So rather than worry, oh my gosh, I haven't done any training with the puppy today and I'm going to try and squeeze in half an hour. Poor puppies' brains can't cope with that. They just start to go, whoa. And of course, they're not going to take that learning in. They're just going to, it's going to go over their head. So short, sweet, fast and fun little training exercises are going to be much more beneficial for your puppy. Make sense? Of course it does. Fabulous. Claire, yes, I think I've answered that, didn't I, for you, Claire? So yes, you use that settle mat if you're leaving the room or leaving the house. But what you do is you can build up the 3Ds. So again, like we did with Charlotte and Reggie, We can build it up so that you're standing up and then your puppy's staying on the mat while you're moving away from the mat and coming back to the mat and moving 2 steps away from the mat maybe, and then you're doing just halfway behind a door so they can half see you, half not, but they're still staying on their mat. So you can't do lots of training right in front of your puppy and then leave that's a nice cat bottom. Look at that. Look at that cat's bottom. There's always one, isn't there? I've lost my complete train of thought now. Next to that cat's bottom. Yes, we can't expect our puppies that if we've always been training right in front of our feet to then suddenly leave the room and expect our puppy to sit on that blanket. They might go back and investigate it a couple of times to say, oh, maybe something's appeared, but they're not going to stay on it straight away. You've got to build it up in small incremental stages to get to that stage. But ultimately, Settle's really, really good for helping them know that they've got somewhere comfortable and secure and safe and just really, really valuable for them. You can also do the same, any of you that haven't done any crate training yet or anything like that, you can do this exact same training to a certain extent with your crate to build up value in being in the crate, and then doors open, closed, and you can put that same Settle mat in their crate. There's lots of things that you can do, but if you just remember to, you know, a nice lot of rewards, and it does, if your dog's struggling to get onto the mat, it does really help to drop the reward just on the blanket. Just say good, drop a cookie on the floor. Keep it really, really simple. Don't worry about asking for sits or downs or anything like that, because that's kind of a different behavior, the sits and the downs. Yes, they might do that on the mat, but you want them to interact with the mat. If your dog comes and sits on the mat and you say sit and you give them a cookie, you've actually rewarded the sit and not the getting on the mat, because they live in the moment. So whatever they're doing in that moment and they get their reward, that's what they'll do again. So it's not that they're getting on the mat. If you say, oh, get on the mat, sit down, you've rewarded the sit and down, not the getting on the mat. So always reward that nice and quickly when they're getting on the mat. Don't ask for any other behavior. If they happen to do it, that's okay. That's their choice. That's not a problem. They've just got value in that position. Yeah, it is quite instinctive, really, because it's cozy, it's soft, it's nice. So they do like something to lie on. Generally, they not necessarily they want something hot or anything like that. It just depends on the puppy. Here with Hera, because she's going to be quite a fluffy girly, you might find that she starts to seek out maybe a tiled bit of floor or something like that that's a bit cooler in the warmer months. Certainly when I've got my heating blasting, mine will go and find somewhere cooler. So always have a couple of options for them, because especially when you've got fluffy pups, they're indoors with their coat and their mac on and everything like that, and they're just hot basically. Yeah, that crate cover, yeah, brilliant. I'm really, really pleased with how she's doing with her crate. So yeah, if your house is cold or anything like that, you can just make it a little bit more snappy for them. So yeah. Does anybody else have any other questions? Does that all make sense for you? I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, jolly good. That's what I like to hear. Well, I shall be doing more of these over the coming weeks. If you have any questions, by all means, just ask. I will, if you want to recap on this, I will upload it to YouTube, and I will convert it into an audio as well for podcast for you, just in case you want to listen to everything again when you're out for a walk. But otherwise, I think that's kind of about it for this evening. I've had you for more than enough time, I think. I don't know how long I've been on, but probably an hour. Yeah, coming up to an hour. Crikey, more than enough time for you all. So I'll let you all go, and I will speak to you soon. Oh, yeah, you're welcome, Claire. You're welcome. See you all later. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.